What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more Mad Men. Today, as I told you guys, well, whatever. The situation is clear, right? Mad Men season 1, the culmination of season 1. I don't know. So far, I'm looking at this series as more in the context of how The Sopranos was. Very episodic. We're just peering into these individuals, these characters' lives, right? We're just peering into it. There's not really a story per se. There's development points to the story, but the story is not the main event. It's more of like we're just a fly on the wall in the room, just watching these people go about their daily lives and what they do, right? And me as the reactor has comments on it. You know what I'm saying, of what's happening. And that's it's a good way to go, because Sopranos end up being in my top 10 TV shows of all times. So it's a good way to tell, to do a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Very episodic, case by case basis. I don't know what's going to develop in as we watch these characters, but the characters are the story. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, as I have a runny nose. The characters are the story in this series so far, as what I can see. I don't know if there's gonna be some great development or whatever. Today we're doing the final episodes of season 1, so we'll see how things go. I'm thinking that it's more like The Sopranos more than anything else, though. It's the only TV show that I've ever watched that is like The Sopranos, where it's not a progression of story per se. The characters is the story, and I've come to really like that. I didn't know that Sopranos was gonna be like that. I was expecting something totally different, and it blew my mind. So here we are again with Mad Men, and it's good because I can have commentary, I can pause, I can talk about these things. Comparing the 1950s to the 2000 may not be your cup of tea, but I see a lot of similarities of things that have not changed since then, and now people are wilded still. You know what I'm saying? So even though this was made to portray the 1950s, right, there's still very modern things that are in there that women and men are still doing till this day. So that's pretty cool, and I can talk about it. Anyways, let's jump into the reaction. 2 episodes you get today. All right, see you guys for the review.
Herman Phillips, Bert Cooper.
Actually, Herman goes on my checks. People call me Doc.
Oh, I keep
My
thinking
research
that
says
I keep getting them mixed up. He's Cooper. I thought the other guy was Cooper. I thought the other guy was Cooper, but the other guy is Sterling. He's Cooper. Okay, I gotta remember that.
Not to call you Doc. You should have told me that.
I don't know. I like when you say Herman.
He landed American Airlines.
You could make something like that happen here.
Well, you have to spend money to make money.
So you're not promising anything.
Why would I do that?
My goodness, he does want this job. Here's a test. Who'd you vote for?
If I say Nixon, you'll think I'm buttering you. If I say Kennedy, you'll want to reform me. So, I'll say Nixon.
That's nice to say.
Why doesn't seem like he liked this guy at all?
Listen, Don, I don't feel you've taken me seriously as a candidate.
Candidate for what?
For the head of account services. We may have had our differences, but Roger knows I've done everything I could to emulate him.
Roger's not involved in this. You're good at your job. Cooper loves you. What's the hurry?
It's been 2.5 years. I could have jumped ship 100 times.
Is that supposed to persuade me?
I have tremendous value to this company. I'm aware of that. But I don't think you are.
I am. I just hope you realize that the way things stand, there will continue to be someone senior to you.
Why? What can they offer? There are men younger than me with this job at bigger firms. Cooper sign off on what's his name? Duck?
I'll keep you posted.
Senator Kennedy seems to be closing the gap on the vice president's early lead. State by state, Ohio, Illinois...
What?
Better run.
You could tell me, or I could find out. What color panties are you wearing?
What? Oh my goodness.
Really?
Who had blue?
That's not okay. Why is this happening
Can I
at a
walk you
party?
home?
What are you doing?
Why aren't you asleep?
What is that?
Nothing.
My father has a box like that, and I looked at it when I was a little girl, and it was a mistake.
So you didn't open it?
Peter, I don't want secrets. It's not yours. What are you doing with it?
I got it by mistake.
So give it back. It's peculiar. It's not yours.
That is so wrong. Why
Vice
would he
President
be
Nixon seems to
obsessed
have
with
carried
something that's
phenomenal
not his, though?
Catholic Hudson
That's
County.
so
Kinsey,
weird.
You're a liar.
We now have confirmation that the state of Ohio has indeed gone to Vice President Richard Nixon.
Damn, he had Ohio and lost?
I feel awful.
Oh,
Do you?
it was me. I'm drunk.
I've never really seen your eyes before.
There they are. Just the two of
I
us.
mean, all these men in this show is such it's so sad. Cause it's like, if you're going to live a life like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's just like, if you're going to live a life like this, why even get married? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Why get married? Because you're going to be, if you know you're going to be in an environment like this constantly, and you know you're going to be tempted, and you don't have a strong sense of self to walk away from situations. Because I've had to walk away from situations before. I'm not constantly surrounded by women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was never constant, at least not pretty women. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say that, because you don't really get, you have a few, but not a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this show, of what I've noticed so far, like, haven't really seen any like unattractive women in the show yet. Like, well, Peggy getting fat made her unattractive, but other than that, like, I haven't really seen anybody that's unattractive. I think if old girl, even the girl that was saying that she thought she would find her husband here, even her, if she took her glasses off, I think she would still be attractive. She's an older woman. Look like she's in her 30s or something like that, but still attractive nonetheless. Now, with him being in this position here, you know what I'm saying, where a woman just plants their lips on you, you're partying, you're dancing around, you're fooling around, whatever the situation. And that's one of the reasons why I'm presenting this. I've never been drunk in my entire life. Anything that would cause me to be intoxicated, smoking, drinking and stuff like that, I abstain myself from it. I will drink occasionally before, but now that I am diabetic, I don't drink anymore. Every now and then, I don't drink anymore. Like, if I go to a function with like family and stuff like that, if I go to a function with family, I might, and that's a big might, I might drink a beer. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, and those events, like, I remember just going to the thing for when my I don't know, you guys probably remember a few months ago when somebody close to me passed away, right? So we had a family function, everybody came together, whatnot. I remember throughout that entire time that I was there, going night after night, one beer. one beer, and that's just because I haven't had beer in years, right? So I just said, why not? It was my favorite beer, whatnot, and I just drank a beer, and I didn't even drink it like, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even drink it like that. It was more of like I sip it and I talk for half an hour, then I take another sip. So it was like, you know, it's just, it's one of those things. So you don't indulge, and this is the reason why you don't get drunk around strangers. Stop doing that, man. Because when you're intoxicated, you're not in your right mind. For the most part, you're not. You are influenced by something else. Your inner inhibitions and stuff like that comes out. Things that you want to do, especially sex. That stuff, when you're on all these endorphins and shit like that, start firing off in your brain, and that's your hormones are out of control and all this other stuff. Anything that causes you to lose control of yourself, you can't handle, do it in moderation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had a party like this and, you know what I'm saying, you want to be a part of the people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, sippy. You don't have to be gulping it down like everybody else, right? And people might look at this and say, oh, you're just trying to micromanage and all of this other stuff. No, I'm teaching you how to be a good person. You can't be you can't be under the influence and be at parties, and then when shit go down and be like, oh well, I was drunk. That's not gonna be an excuse if your significant other finds out that something went down. These two are obviously going to do something right now. I would be happy to see him walk away, but it's obvious he's going to do something here. I don't know if he's happy at home. He's probably not. Who knows? But at the same time, it does not give you an excuse to step out or to do something like this crazy.
Hildy, wake up.
It's cold in here.
It is. You have to get dressed.
Harry?
Yes.
I hope I didn't step on them.
Damn it.
Why people?
I don't want you to be worried. It didn't mean anything, okay?
The thing about it is that in today's society, people wear it as a badge of honor. Seems like everybody got some dick.
I've read 3 different newspapers with 3 different results. I'm sure you know something I don't.
Well, I spent the night literally in a smoke-filled room at the Waldorf with every Republican luminary, save MacArthur and Jesus. Daley gave Joe Kennedy every corpse in Cook County. Otherwise, Nixon wins.
Shouldn't have been that close.
But it is. It always is.
What does he do now? Walk away? Concede?
A recount in Illinois alone means 30 days without a president. You don't want to win like that.
But you want to win. What happens?
Neil from P&G said if Kennedy is willing to buy an election, he's probably willing to play ball with us.
The optimism of the American corporation.
It's a football game to them.
Doesn't seem fair.
Damn.
Fair.
Where do you think you're going?
If I were you, I would be very, very careful from now on about the way you speak to me.
What's that?
It's yours. It came to me by mistake.
Well, thanks.
Have you reconsidered my qualifications for the head of account services?
Would it disappoint you if I told you it hadn't crossed my mind?
Oh Lord, here we go.
I feel strange having to talk to you in this way.
Spit it out, Campbell.
I don't know who Donald Draper is, but according to my friend Russ at the Department of Defense, Dick Whitman died in Korea in 1950, and Donald Draper dropped off the map. Although he's 43 years old, in which case, you look remarkably good. I wish I knew more. I bet a lot of people do.
Pete,
Is he trying to strong arm Don?
you're making a fool of yourself.
You can deny it. But I know it's true. I can see from your face. You're not who you say you are. And there's obviously a reason.
Come on.
I would like you to reconsider my qualifications.
Assuming this information is true, which it isn't, it sounds to me like you're blackmailing me.
I'm not.
Without
Threaten
blackmailing
someone
me?
in this manner. You should be aware of the fact that if your information is powerful enough to make them do what you want, what else can it make them do?
It's not a threat. It's just a job. Think about it.
So what did he do? Take somebody else's name?
Yes, sir. What is this?
This is it.
One? I'm supposed to have 20. This is going to take a month. It should take 48 hours.
You're whining to the wrong guy, sir.
I'm an engineer. They're in some action 5 miles over that mountain. You want to go? The answer is no.
In what?
Well, this unit, that's you. We'll be establishing a field hospital, but first, we're going to be digging fighting positions on 4 sides. Well, they got me with college. But I'm 3 years, 6 months, nearly a civilian. I'm supposed to be building swimming pools, not latrines. You any good with that rifle? I wouldn't want you to mistake me for Chinese.
As much practice as I've had, yes.
I bet you're reconsidering if this was a step up.
Ouch. That's tough. If he deserted the army, that means he's gone. He's essentially AWOL, or in it pretended to be somebody else to come back home.
Did you run over? You're flushed.
Let's go away.
Really? Where?
Anywhere.
Warmer weather?
Sure. How about Los Angeles? Mexico. I have money.
I have money, but I have a store to run.
Something happened, and I want to go, and I want you to come with me, and I don't want to come back.
What happened?
What does it matter? Isn't this what you want?
Of course. I've thought about it. Just didn't think it would happen. I mean, especially this way.
Damn, what the hell did he do?
Don't want to be.
Why is he so scared about his identity, though? Like, I mean, this is very strange. The thing about it is that I love this woman. I've literally everything that I've seen her in, I completely fall for her. So I get the attraction. I really do. I really do get the attraction. He's still cheating on your wife, though. You don't get a pass for that. The problem is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm not articulating it very well. So the problem is this, right? It seems like he did something really bad to take this dude's name, because essentially, his identity is supposed to be dead. Like, Dick Whitman, or whatever his name is, died in the war. So he's supposed to be dead. So either he did something, and either he pretended to be dead, took somebody that's actually dead name to come back with. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the guy that he just met, the officer. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're going to reveal, what's actually happening. Hopefully. because this is crazy, because he really got shook up when Pete mentioned it. I was like, what's the big deal, dude? Like, you know his true identity. I mean, back in the day, I mean, it's still a big deal now. You can't be a deserter, especially during the war, especially if you've got medals for that shit. Like, it's just taboo. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you were supposed to be dead and now they find out that you're still alive and you were supposed to be in the war, nobody really knew or whatever. I mean, I don't know if you can actually go, like, I don't know if you can go to jail for that. I don't know. Any war veterans out there watching my channel, let me know. I'm not sure.
No, this isn't how I thought it would be.
What is the difference? We'll go somewhere else. We'll start over like Adam and Eve.
What are you, 15 years old? My father... Can't we be together here?
There's nothing here.
What
about
your
your
children?
children? Yeah, that's what I was about to
I'll
say.
provide for them.
And live in Los Angeles? My God, you haven't thought this through.
Are you having an attack of conscience after all this?
No. I'm watching you talk because I feel I don't know you.
You know more about me than anyone.
You won't even tell me what happened. What kind of man are you? Go away, drop everything, leave your life?
People do it every day.
This was a dalliance. A cheap affair.
Rachel, don't.
You don't want to run away with me. You just want to run away. You're a coward.
It's kind of true. I can't even.
Please go now.
She speaks the truth. I can't even hate her for that, because she is telling the truth.
I thought about what you said.
Glad to hear it.
And then I thought about you. And what a deep lack of character you have.
I can understand your frustration, Don. Believe me, I'm not enjoying this any more than you are.
I'm hiring Doug Phillips.
Don't make me go to Cooper.
I'm not making you do anything. You haven't thought this through.
I have.
Really? You're just gonna go up to the office and tell Bert Cooper? How do you think he'll react when you tell him this story of yours? You expect him to promote you? After the way you've behaved?
I think he'll appreciate the loyalty. But I'm pretty sure you won't be working here anymore.
I'm Don Draper.
Give me what I want. I've earned this job. I deserve it.
Why? Because your parents are rich? Because you went to prep school and have a $5 haircut? You've been given everything. You've never worked for anything in your life.
For gosh sakes, don't you realize you're going to lose everything? I'm giving you a way out.
More bad news? You came here to drown your sorrows. I'm not really much of a drinker.
No, I just wanted to say I'm pulling the trigger on Doug Phillips as new head of account services.
Oh, good. Well done.
Your turn.
It has come to my attention, completely by accident, that Donald Draper here is not who he says he is. His real name is Dick Whitman. But Dick Whitman died in Korea 10 years ago. It stands to reason that he is a deserter at the very least, and who knows what else.
Yeah, let's hash this out right here. I like this. I like how Don took it to him and be like, yeah, I'm not going to be a bitch for you, bro.
Mr. Campbell, who cares?
Who cares? Exactly.
What?
Who cares?
Mr. Cooper, he's a fraud and a liar. A criminal, even.
Country was built and run by men with worse stories than whatever you've imagined here.
I'm not imagining anything.
The Japanese have a saying, a man is whatever room he is in. And right now, Donald Draper is in this room. I assure you, there's more profit in forgetting this. I'd put your energy into bringing in accounts.
Boom. Shakalaka. You see, this is the thing about this is this. I like that he took this head on, because now your boss knows, and the guy you're going into partnership with, he knows about this. Whether it's true or not, he knows it is. So if in the future this comes back to bite them in the ass, they are ahead of the curve already. This news is not going to hit him by surprise. He's going to already know that if it comes, which is not something that's going to affect them in any way, because nobody knows if that Dick Whitman is still alive. Nobody knows. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying lying is cool and a deserter is cool. That is not cool. You don't do it. Okay? It is wrong for him to do it. But in the context of what we're watching here, who cares? The war is over. We're home. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's like, who really cares about this? Like, you're bringing up a you're essentially bringing up a point that doesn't matter in the long run. It doesn't matter. You're using this, and I'm glad that he went there and be like, listen, I'm not gonna let you hold this over my head. I'm gonna be here. I think he did this because Rachel called him, because she called him a coward. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I said she's speaking facts. Because you really should have, this is what you should have done in the first place without going to, I'll pack up and leave him because of whatever is happening, right? So this was the right thing to do, and this is the respectable thing to do. Now, I gain a whole lot of respect for you, but at the same time, it's still cheating on your wife. So I can't go all the way. I'm not going to stop bringing that up because I don't like it.
Fire him if you want.
Oof.
Keep an eye on him. One never knows how loyalty is born.
Absolutely ridiculous that he's like that. Like, he's the worst. He you know what I'm saying? His wife just walks him around like a dog. He has no control over his life. He's oh, dang.
What? Where? Shut up and stay down! Don't they know this is a hospital? We're nothing, they know that.
What? Did I?
Oh, that's gas. Bruh. He survived it. So he probably took his name. Ah. So he just took his name because they thought he was him.
On behalf of the President of the United States and the citizens of the United States of America,
so he just went with it.
I present you with this Purple Heart Medal.
The Colonel here has some good news for you.
We're releasing you to the reserves for your last 80
So what did he do? Did they find him with his tags or something? Is that what happened? How did they mistake him for Draper? Did he tell them he was Draper? Oh, he switched tags with him.
Good news. You're going to be okay.
Lieutenant Draper, Private Whitman, you were the last person who knew him in his chain of command. We'd like you to take him home. I think it would mean something.
He switched the tags. That's what I was thinking. That as I saw, I was like, he switched the tags, so they mistaken him for him.
This is us, Lieutenant.
I guess that was back then. They didn't so his mom and his pop thought he died, and his brother. That's crazy, bruh. That's tough.
There he is! I see him!
Who?
Dick! He's on the train! I see him!
He's right here.
But I saw him. I saw him in the window over there.
Stop it. No more of that.
A little.
You got your whole life ahead of you. Forget that boy in the box. Look at you.
that, I want to say again my deep thanks to all of you who are here. To those, congratulations to Senator Kennedy for his fine race in this campaign, and to all of you. I am sure his supporters are just as enthusiastic as you are for me. And I thank
I mean, it's bad what he did, but at the same time, Jesus, man, you gotta understand that shit. Like, you really do. You know what I mean? You really do have to understand why he did what he did. Not only, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was a grown man. So it's like, that's tough. It's kind of sad what happened to his brother at the same time. It's sad. I mean, I don't know if any war veterans are out there, but would you guys consider that like stolen valor? I guess, I mean, he was in the army and he went through the shit. You know what I'm saying? He almost died just the same. I don't know why he chose. I guess when you're in an incident, I don't know certain things about the army. I've talked to plenty of war vets, but there's some things I just never ask about because it just never came up. So I want to know. It's obviously it's wrong what he did, but I want to know in the grand sense, in the grand sense of things that are happening. Wouldn't he still be considered a hero, or is it because he's a private why he would have had to still stay? You get what I'm saying? Did he take the tags so that he can go home? You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Is that the situation? Or if he still maintain his name, right? If he was still Dick, would he have still been sent home, or they would have let him stay for war and still he would have still gotten the Purple Heart? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I want to know the details. If you guys know, I want to know the details. But in any case, great episode. Stick around for episode 13, the final episode of the season. Let's get it.
I'm gonna treat you like a son because I feel that way towards you.
Okay.
Trudy told us that you were up for a promotion and you didn't get it or something. Oh, she loves you. And honestly, I think you need to take a little focus off of your work.
This from one of the top salesmen at Fixed Chemical. I'll tell you, Sterling Cooper and yours truly would love to help you deliver that message.
See, now that's what I'm talking about. The only family and business you should be mixing is the production of a child.
And what did Trudy say about that?
About what?
Tom, loose lips sink ships.
Well, I was just saying that work isn't everything, you know. It means, you know, start growing things.
Daddy, you're embarrassing us.
Well, it'll be the best Christmas present this one ever had. And hell, Thanksgiving's Thursday.
Bertie, I'm a partner. 80% of my business rolls out next week. It just seems silly for me to go down there for a 12-hour Thanksgiving.
What about Sally and Bobby's childhood memories?
There was no reason you couldn't have it up here.
What's your point
exactly? I don't think you want to go.
I'm sorry, was I unclear about that?
What gave you that grand idea? The fact that I said I don't want to go?
My family, your family.
Those are the legendary secret files of Bert Cooper?
Nope. I got a call from Abraham Mencken. I'm sure you know that his daughter will be unavailable for the next 3 months, taking some sort of ocean voyage to Paris and whatnot. Why is this man calling me?
I don't know. Is he unhappy?
Well, as a partner, I do not expect your personal preferences to interfere with our business.
Who says they have?
It was the tone of his voice. He's her father. That's it, cowboy.
You're not Francine. Whatever happened, you're not stupid.
My mind hasn't been so sharp since I had the baby. And Carlton gave me a stack of mail, and honestly, I think I just threw it away.
I don't either.
They gave me the bill. It was close to $18. There were all these calls. Long distance. MH. MH? Manhattan? I said, I'm calling from Carlton Hansen's office. She said, really? And I said, he wants to have dinner tonight, the usual place.
What made you say that?
Just checking to see if he's cheating.
Maybe it's a kid, or maybe he's throwing you a surprise party.
Do you know he spends 2 nights a week at the Waldorf?
So dumb. I'm so dumb, bro. I'm so dumb. I thought she was... So all the women are just finding out that their husbands are cheaters now? Well, except for Betty. But the whole situation with him, I thought she was his wife, because I remember, if I'm remembering, earlier on in the season, he was at the house, wasn't he? When they were having that party, wasn't he one of the guys that was there? I gotta go back and check, because I thought she was his wife, the guy that we just saw on the phone just now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. It's just hard to keep up. So I don't think we've ever met his wife. I thought she was his wife because she came in crying and stuff like that. I was thinking that, but she's talking about somebody entirely different.
The worst is that I'll poison him. He's so stupid he'd drink anything.
You're emotional. It doesn't mean...
Damn it, Betty. I know everything. What am I gonna do? I've been sitting outside in the car. What do I do? I thought you'd know what to do.
Me? Why?
I don't know.
Jump into conclusions. I don't really know. Trying to tell me. I was like, I thought you knew that Don was cheating. It's like, you gotta confront him about it, though.
No, don't.
That is probably the worst thing I've seen Betty in. I don't know what she wearing right now. That ain't it, honey. Whoever was doing wardrobe this day. Wanna check his phone bills?
You're Cosgrove, right? The powerhouse behind the Rejuvenator?
Actually, it's called the Relaxicizer now.
What the hell is it?
It's a weight loss device with a female pleasure payload.
Really? I'm offering a $100 bonus to the first man who brings me a meeting with a decision maker.
Bringing in business is the key to your salary, your status, and your self-worth.
I went to the athletic club today, and I sat in the steam for an hour and a half. In that time, I lost 4 pounds and learned that Kodak still isn't happy with the campaign for their new slide projector.
I love the way it makes me feel. The Relaxicizer. It's my little secret.
Thank you, Annie. One more time, Rita.
I never thought it would happen to me, but I regained my youth and my...
Like the Relaxicizer.
Annie belongs on TV with Rita's voice dubbed in.
Norma, thank you. You can go. Whatever the special properties of the Relaxicizer are, what we are selling is confidence. A better you. That woman isn't a better anything. Annie is a confident, beautiful woman, and you can hear it in her voice.
Argument.
Sorry about that, Rita.
Hi, Annie. We'll do this tomorrow. Check with Peggy here for your session. If I get a hard time about this, I'm telling people it was your idea.
It was my idea.
I can't provide for a child on what I make.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, kids cost a lot of money. I don't know, back in the day, still in comparison, it's still, yeah, I'm saying things were essentially cheaper back then because the power of the US dollar was, you know what I'm saying, way up there.
Francine told me Carlton has been having an affair.
Really?
She was in pieces, Don. I didn't know what to say to her. She should poison him.
Now you think she should kill him?
How could someone do that to the person that they love?
Apparently, you're out of the loop. People claim that they love people. So it's like you love someone, but you deliberately, intentionally hurt them all the time.
I never thought it would happen to me, but I regained my youth and my happiness. Just ask my husband. I swear, he looks at me like the night we met. It's true that while simply relaxing, I can get all the benefits of calisthenics.
Danny, I'm sorry, we have to get a level here.
She doesn't sound very confident.
She just started. Give her a direction.
Confidence.
Okay. I never thought it would happen to me.
Annie,
Yes?
are you married?
No.
I could have told you that.
Well, try and imagine you're you, Annie. And you have everything when you use the relaxicizer.
Okay.
It's too bad your voice is so annoying.
I regained my youth
Unnecessary, bro.
Just ask my husband.
Hold on, Annie. We have a problem with the tape recorder.
Peg's a woman who looks like that will never sound confident because she never is confident.
Baloney.
Honey, it's God's gift to bachelors. The juiciest gazelle is the easiest to catch.
Ask my husband. I swear, he looks at me like the night.
Annie. You're married. Maybe you put on a few pounds, but then you got the relaxicizer, and you're back to being you. Right now.
I am being me. Just give me a second. I'll get it the way you want it. I never thought it would happen to me, but
You just
I
broke
never
her.
thought this would happen to me, but I never thought it would happen to me, but
Look, Pegs, you dangled her in front of me, and now you're ruining it. Don't do that to me.
Kenny, be professional, would you?
You be
This is not
professional.
working out. We're going to have to let you go.
You could have gone in there and said that.
I do not like Peggy
In this
anymore, bruh.
I want you to go after her and console her.
You're a
if you
bitch.
make
You go do
plans
it
or-
yourself.
Whatever you need to do. Call Rita. The older lady you liked? She's probably home with the relaxicizer right now.
This is the reason why, you know, we're coming out nowadays and telling you that women don't handle leadership roles very well. They don't, because they're too emotional and all over the place. They're not logical. The majority of women bosses that I've had over my life, bro, since majority of them has always been like this. They don't know how to handle that because they're not masculine, so they can't balance it out. For the most part, they cannot do it. I'm telling you. I've had only one, and that's because she was, when I'm talking about, she was masculine to the point of just intolerable. But she was on top of shit. She was the boss. You know what I'm saying? But she was clearly entirely in her masculine energy. It's, I hate to say this. I'm not saying that women can't be bosses. but it's just not a position suited for them. And it's very hard for me to say this because I know when you say stuff like this, people automatically jump to what? You're a you're a misogynist. You know what I'm saying? You hate women. You know what I'm saying? It's all these other things. You're sexist. All these different words that they call you because you state a fact. It is a fact that most women cannot handle leadership roles because they're too emotionally all over the place. For example, one of the things, as you can see clearly in this picture here, and I've seen it all the time over the years that I work retail, all that stuff, and I had women supervisors and had women managers and stuff like that. That was like a long time ago, right? It's always been like that. They don't know how to handle power. They don't know how to lead. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. They're not built for it. And when you say this fact about it, I'm not saying that all women can't. I'm just saying most of y'all can. Most of y'all can't. I'm not saying that all of y'all can't, or women should never be in leadership roles. But it takes away a lot from you as a woman as well. Because once you get into that masculine energy, what happens is that you lose your femininity. And now, as a result of that, you probably can't find a good husband. You're probably having, bringing that same masculine energy back home. Some women can handle the masculine, can use the masculinity at work and bring their feminine ass back home. Some women can do that, but most women can't. You get what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to handle it. They're very emotional, no logic. They haven't really woken up to understand that there's a difference. So when you say this and people say you women hate and you hate women and all of this other stuff, it just goes to show you that people just don't really think about anything anymore. People really do believe that men and women are the same. I don't believe that. That's absolutely insane to even think that men and women are the same. It's ridiculous to me. It's an asinine statement to make. But, the world that we live in today, they don't see it that way. They don't see it that way. But that's cool. It's cool if you don't see it that way. Nobody's blaming you for anything. I'm just saying. See that kind of energy right there that she's giving off, that masculine energy, and she don't know how to really handle it. Like, in a situation like that, even the man got to say, listen, you didn't have to be so callous with the person. She broke her because it's like she is being herself, and you got to understand that what the guy was trying to explain to her is that women who are born with that kind of beauty, they need to have no confidence about anything because their looks get them everything. And it's very true. A woman that's born with that is you know what I'm saying, born like that, they don't have no confidence. It's just nowadays you have these modern women that's just like, yo, they pretty, they know they have it, and they're using it, right? So nowadays, and in some ways too, I look at it as fake confidence because it's not really confidence. It's just what society has allowed women to be nowadays, and then they say they're oppressed. Then they say they're oppressed. I'm an independent, confident, you know what I'm saying, I'm a queen. It's ridiculous, dude.
Can you give me the Brighton Hotel, Times Square?
Brighton.
Yes, sorry to bother you so late. I'm looking for someone.
Can I ask what you want?
Just a forwarding address. I'm trying to contact him. He has red hair, over 6 feet.
Now listen, I know who you're talking about. Jesus, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but he hung himself.
Adam Whitman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Left the building a bunch of money. The city took it. It's in the Post.
Oh.
Hate to be the one to give that news.
Damn, Don. You gotta go take care of this shit, bro. Some real. Damn. She's probably gonna find the number for the therapist. That's probably what she will find, because that's the only calls he makes from home, right?
Yes. Hello.
Who is this?
Who is this?
This is Dr. Arnold Wayne.
Yeah.
Glenn? I'm not supposed to talk to you.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Where's Mom?
My mother is going to come out.
I don't care.
Why are you talking to a child?
I'm so sad.
And again, why are you talking to a child about this? This is so weird.
Please tell me I'll be okay.
This woman is crazy. Betty is. Why are you telling this to a child? I can't stop laughing.
I don't know how long 20 minutes is.
Of course, dear.
This is just weird.
I've brought in an account.
Good for you.
It's a piece of Vic's chemical company, Clearasil. Better potential than any traditional pharmaceutical, I believe. I'm not embarrassed to say my father-in-law is a former salesman, now executive there.
That's generous.
He's interested in my future. I got the bonus, and Cooper gave me some book by Ayn Rand. He seemed assured, as I hope you are, that I have a significant investment in this company.
You're lucky you're not, like, out on your ass right now.
Being able to talk. Just me and you and your little pad. It has helped.
She's trying to get out of therapy.
Still, I can't help but think that I would be happy if my husband was faithful to me.
She's trying to play the game. I see you, Betty.
My brother's children are very badly behaved, and he spanks them. Don has never laid a hand on the kids. He's kind inside. Sometimes perfume. Or worse. He doesn't know what family is.
Yo, Betty came
And
in
in fact,
today and chose violence. She's
Should be
like, we out here. I know what you're
Very
doing, Don.
you know? That I put up with it like some ostrich.
When he gets
It's
this
interesting,
report.
isn't it? The way he makes love. Sometimes it's what I want. But sometimes it's obviously what someone else wants. I suppose it means I'm not enough. But maybe it's just him.
So, have you figured out a way to work the wheel into it?
We know it's hard because wheels aren't really seen as exciting technology, even though they are the original.
My first job, I was in-house at a fur company with this old pro copywriter, Greek, named Teddy. And Teddy told me the most important idea in advertising is new. Creates an itch. But he also talked about a deeper bond with the product. Nostalgia. It's delicate.
Yeah. Nostalgia is very important.
But potent. Teddy told me that in Greek, nostalgia literally means the pain from an old wound. It's a twinge in your heart, far more powerful than memory alone. It takes us to a place where we ache to go again. Round and around, and back home again. To a place where we know we are loved.
This guy. It's like, damn, I felt that, Dot. I gotta get home.
Don, I have to warn you, I'm not alone.
It was beautiful. Congratulations, mein Kommandant.
They called from the lobby. They canceled their other meetings, including DDB. It's not just a victory for us, it's a victory for civilization.
You know what, Pete? I've got a way for you to turn this account into a home run. Young girls. What a difference it makes in their lives to be blemish-free.
I believe it does.
We have the perfect writer for that. Peggy Olson.
That's funny.
You should have seen her in that booth yesterday. She was like Kinsey, but with balls.
Stop joking already, will you, Don?
Excuse me?
This is my father-in-law. He's expecting the very best. I'm expecting the very best. Not some little girl. He'll walk away. Do you know how hard I worked to get this account?
Who the hell is she?
Peggy is not even a copywriter. She's a secretary.
Peggy!
Yes, Mr. Draper.
Miss Olson, you are now a junior copywriter. Your first account will be delivering Clearasil to the spotted masses.
What? My goodness. I will do my sincere best. Thank you, Mr. Draper.
These two being forced to work with each other. Yo.
I said congratulations, didn't I? Happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Joan.
David and I had a deal. No meetings in here, okay? And no music.
What can we do for you today?
My stomach hurts really bad. I think I had a bad sandwich.
I'm not gonna lie, they could have done a better job with her makeup.
Honey, didn't mention that you were expecting.
She's pregnant?
You're going to be a mother.
You want us to call your husband? Or your boyfriend?
I don't understand.
Stop talking.
Oh, shit.
Now listen, we're going to get you up to maternity.
No, that's not possible.
How is it not possible?
Do you feel that?
Oh my God! We need a wheelchair right away. It hurts.
It's going to be okay, honey. Just want you to calm down.
I don't understand. We need a wheelchair.
I call him the same doctor. Why they call the psychiatrist for this?
Oh.
Hello, darling. Oh, were they having a party at the office?
Yes. I think I should lie down.
That's a good idea.
Sure. Rest up. But make sure you're awake later.
Daddy!
What happened?
Don't you want to hold him, sweetheart?
You have got to be kidding me. She was pregnant this entire time and she didn't know? That's crazy, bruh. That's actually nuts.
Hello?
Don? What are you doing here?
Daddy, are you coming with us?
No, he isn't. Daddy has to work. Called the taxi yet?
I'm coming with you.
Really? You are?
I'll pack the car. We'll be there before midnight. Hello?
Oh, is that a dream?
Hello?
The heck? I guess that's what he was hoping for, but they left already. I guess the moral of the story is, you know, the presentation that he did kind of reminded him of what he had. So, as I said, man, there's no absolute story here to follow. You know what I'm saying? Like, the characters is the story. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the character development and what these characters are going through. We're just a fly on the wall, witnessing, you know, what these people are going through, what they're doing, the decisions that they make, and the consequences of those decisions. It's just great to see. And I'm happy to go through, you know, another 7 great seasons of a show like this. Hopefully the quality stays up, just like The Soprano held up over 6 seasons. Hopefully the quality stays up. Mad Men might just crack my top 10. I'm enjoying very much the series because there's a lot of like social commentary to be made about this show. It's a great comparison to see, you know, things that used to happen back in the 50s still happening today. So I love that contrast that I can touch on during my reviews and during the episodes as well, just commenting on what's going on and what I think it is, and giving you guys some advice as well. Don't take my advice as gospel, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you roll the same way I roll, you know what I'm saying, you can take some of my advice nonetheless, because I know I'm not talking reckless out here. So yeah, man, season 1 of Mad Men, great season, great start to the show. Let me say this, last week, the reason why you guys did not get any Mad Men episode was because I streamed for 9 hours, and that Sunday where I usually record Mad Men, I just didn't have it in me. Like, I streamed for 9 hours. We got off of that stream at like 5, I think it was like 5 a.m. Yeah, it was crazy, right? It was crazy. And then that Sunday, when I actually woke up with a huge headache. I don't know why. I think I had just crashed. You know what I'm saying? I think I ended the stream at like 5, and I think I didn't ended up going to bed until like 7 in the morning. And then when I woke up, it was like 12 or 1 o'clock on Sunday, and I had a huge headache and it just wouldn't go away. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna scratch today. But I did say that I was gonna try to get the episodes out during the week, but I did not get any time to do it. That's not a very good promise to make anyways. So I do apologize for that, my Patreon family. I really do appreciate y'all. So I'm saying that here because you know, people on YouTube, they're not gonna know what I'm talking about. They're not gonna care because it doesn't affect them at all. But to my Patreon family, I really do apologize for that. But here we are this week, back in the saddle, doing our thing, right? So this season was great for many reasons. Not only did I make a lot of comments and talked about so many different things, you know what I'm saying, during these episodes. I touched on so many different topics. It's unbelievable how many topics. I can't even remember all of them that I talked about. You know what I'm saying? We talked about, you know, feminism, talked about sex, cheating, relationship stuff. It is so many different things that I touched on, and just my perspective on it all. I think we touched a little bit on religion as well. I don't know. In any case, these characters, I'm not gonna go character by character. These characters has really been very, very, very much stuck in my head. I think about them when I stop watching the show. Throughout the week, I'm thinking, okay, you know, what type of person is Peggy going to turn out to be? Is Don going to become a better man? Is his character development headed in the direction of becoming better? You know what I'm saying? And stop being a cheating husband. Like, where are we going? Right? And my hopes is that at the end of this, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the season, as we can see, it seems like there's a turnaround going to happen for him. But I don't think it's going to be this easy. I don't think it's going to be easy for him, because now that his wife kind of knows that he's cheating, but not really. She knows that, you know what I'm saying, that the therapist, the psychiatrist, is actually relaying all of the information back to Don. You know, I don't know if she knows that she could sue the doctor for that, because that's not okay. It's not okay that he's doing that, because, you know, that stuff it's supposed to be private. You're supposed to be helping the patient. It's in the best interest of the patient not to be divulging their information to everybody. You know what I mean? I know it's her husband, but at the same time, you're not supposed to do that. There's a reason why you take an oath not to do that, right? So doctor-patient confidentiality is very important. It's extremely important, especially in that field. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's like less important, you know, otherwise, but it's a very, I'm glad that it's a thing that we have in you know, in our lives, as in, you know, healthcare or whatever, right? I'm glad that it's a thing, because it does protect against a lot of things that could just get out of hand, right? Talking about the characters, Don, Peggy, Pete, Betty, all the other side characters, you know what I'm saying, that we could think of. But I think Betty, Don, Peggy, and Pete is the focus of the series right now. I think those four is the focus of the series. There's other people as well that is semi-important, but I think those guys, I think that four is the focus of the series, right? Is Don and his wife Betty, and then you have Peggy and Pete, which is, you know what I'm saying, you know, Pete is married, but he screwed around with Peggy. I think this baby is his. She was pregnant this whole time. That's probably why she gained the weight. It's probably not even because of how she was eating, because I thought it was eating. She probably gained the weight because she was pregnant. She didn't know what was happening to her body, and she didn't understand, right? She gained a lot of weight. Nobody thought she was pregnant because she was just fat all around. I didn't think she was pregnant. I just thought that she was just eating away at her problems because, you know, Pete didn't want her anymore, and you know what I'm saying, and all of this other stuff. She didn't exactly know how to respond to that, so she just started eating. And a lot of women do this. They have, you know what I'm saying, they get out of hand with their eating. They eat to try to solve their problem, and you know, they always choose the fattiest thing that they could find, ice cream, you know what I'm saying, and all these other different things, sweets and stuff like that, and eat themselves into oblivion and think that is going to solve their depression, or you know, whatever they're going through. It's not the best way to go about things. So this is going to get real complicated, I can guess, for season 2, because she's going to have to figure out a way to do her job and be a mother, or she's going to have to tell Pete, hey man, we smashed, this baby is yours. Plus he can't, for some reason it seemed like he can't get it's either he can't get his wife pregnant, because I think he's trying, but he can't get her pregnant, and for some reason this woman, his wife, keeps telling her parents everything. Like, the dude, Pete, can't catch a break with that. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. If you have a wife that's like that, forget about it. Your relationship is not going to last very long. I'm telling you. Because if your wife is telling her parents everything about you, any struggle that you have and all of this other stuff, and your father-in-law just feels like he needs to come in and rescue you all the damn time, that is a problem that you don't want. And that's why I said this woman don't respect him at all. She acts like she loves him, but she doesn't understand what love is. She doesn't understand how to respect her husband. Forget the love part of it. You don't respect him. You got to respect the man first before you can love him. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. That's how it goes. You have to respect the man first before you can love him. I don't care what nobody says. A woman can't love you if she don't respect you. Period. Point blank. Right? So I've talked about this from way earlier in the series where I talked about how she doesn't respect him because she does all of this weird stuff behind his back and just like jump to conclusion because she has to have what she wants, and she's spoiled. Right? Pete family is rich too, but he's not spoiled. You get what I'm saying? Because he decided to go against the grain and get his own. He didn't want his family money. He don't want to really be associated with the fact that, oh, my family got money, so treat him like royalty. Like, he doesn't want that. He wants to earn. But the problem is, he's got an attitude behind that I don't like either. Right? He's not a very humble person. Right? So it's just crazy to think that he's ever going to survive here. And that's the reason why Don keeps sticking it to him, because it's like, oh, you a rich dude. Okay. You want to earn, you're going to have to earn everything. I'll make your life a living hell. Right? And it's not like Don is doing this out of spite. You get what I'm saying? He's doing this because of all the different things that he's always come at Don with. He tried to take over an account, making suggestions and all of this, making this other stuff, when Don is explicit to tell him, don't do it this way, and then he do it the way anyways. He doesn't care. And that's what I'm saying. He's not humble. Every time he gets humbled by a situation, he still comes out of it with an arrogant attitude. He needs to get over that. And then he's getting bitch slapped at home. Right? So I feel for him, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you know what I mean? You got to change that about yourself. So, with Betty, there's a lot of stuff that happens with Betty that she doesn't deserve happening to her. She does do little things sometimes that I'm just like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, you pouring your heart out to a little boy, that's just crazy. Don't do that, ladies. Don't do that. You don't do that. Okay, that's just weird and out of place. You know what I'm saying? It's, to me, when it comes down to this series, and from what I see and from what I understand about, you know, where I think this is gonna go, not talking about Don. Don has been through such a crazy arc just in season 1. And the one thing that I disagree with him doing, like on a complete level, well, there's a couple of things. I think the situation with his brother, I think he's definitely the root of the cause why his brother hung himself, right? I really do believe that. And the cheating. Like, that's the only two issues that I had with his character. And those are two very bad things that he's done. There's no excuse for that. Not trying to make an excuse for it, because it's bad and that's what it is, right? But otherwise than that, not gonna talk about his business acumen, his advertising, and all of this other stuff, because that pales in comparison to the other things that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? It pales in comparison. That's your job. You're supposed to be good at it. If you're getting promotions and you're that high up and you're head of this or whatever this is, you're supposed to be good at it. So that's not surprising me at all. Congratulations. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So at the very least, when it comes on to, you know, just his attitude and how he presents himself and all of this other stuff, I can totally be down with it. But at the same time, there's these other things about his character that I would probably be friends with Don but I would never hang out with him. You get what I'm saying? We'd just be work friends. So he needs to correct that behavior, of course. Betty didn't find out that he's cheating, but she found out that the psychiatrist is relaying information to Don about the sessions. So that's not cool, right? You know, women cop attitude over so many different things, and they're emotionally all over the place. Not all the time when you have an instinct about your man cheating, that your man is cheating. You know what I mean? So for me, when I look at this and I see how things are presenting themselves in this series, and I'm like, it is very episodic, but I'm enjoying it. So far for season 1, I'm gonna give season 1 a really, really good score, right? I'm gonna say it was well done. Everything about it, the setting, the mood, everything kind of takes you back. It's that nostalgia. Even though I wasn't born in the 50s, I can imagine that that's how it was. You get what I'm saying? Because of accounts. I know people was born in the 50s. My mom was born in the 50s. So, you know what I'm saying? There's perspective. You get what I'm saying? So there's perspective of what the fashion used to be like. You know what I'm saying? And all this other stuff. So it's great to see that the cinematics, you know, and everything else just works. So I applaud them for doing that. There's not much music playing in this, so that there's not much sound design. I prefer when there's not music playing in shows like this, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, in those moments of dialogue, you don't want to hear background music playing because, you know, most of the time it's not going to be appropriate. You want to hear what these people are saying. You want to hear what the dialogue is because the dialogue is important, right? So I'm glad that they chose that aesthetic to not go with any music playing in the background while people are having conversations and stuff like that. Not that it's bad, because sometimes you know you have shows that do it very well, but at the same time I prefer when there's no music at all, especially for TV shows. But it's good. But in any case, that is all I have to say about Mad Men. Season 1 was great. The review, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because they did an excellent job of introducing the characters and doing everything right. So definitely I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Great start to a series. Can't wait to watch more. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a comment. Guys, if you want to watch ahead, by the time you are seeing this on YouTube, this, you know what I'm saying, we might have finished season 2 and season 3 by this time you guys are finished with season 1. So make sure you go check out the Patreon and membership on the original channel. The links are down in the description, man, if you want to support your boy and watch stuff early as well. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Leave a like, leave a comment. Catch you guys later, man. Peace.